Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 44 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. I have let my world run for a little bit between last episode and this one, just kind of kept the server online. Usually what I like to do is shut the server off between episodes, but because I was setting up something that was going to take some time, I decided to leave it running and just kind of see how things fared. And they went actually rather well. One thing that I wasn't too sure about, and I guess I made a mistake, I thought that walnut trees automatically dropped their walnuts, but if we come over here to the chest, we'll see that's not the case. So maybe chestnuts do that? I'm not sure. But I could have sworn I've encountered on the Forgecraft server, so maybe they used to, or maybe like something changed. But I just know I would walk by walnut trees every now and then and just collect walnuts. But again, maybe that was chestnuts and I'm just mixing them up. So I was incorrect that these things would automatically drop their stuff. So we can see here that right now we have not collected any walnuts. Sad. But if we come over here to our automated farm, we'll see that we do, in fact, have plenty of walnuts going on in here. And as we start clearing them out, you can see them getting harvested from the trees. So look at that. The trees are automatically being harvested of their walnuts. How cool is that? So, yeah, nice, huh? Dude, look at that. So over the course of the night when I left the server running, the internal block here filled up with walnuts, and boy, we are quickly draining some water here. Wow, yeah, that stuff's going quick. The aqueous accumulator we have down there just can't even keep up with it. Ha, how funny is that? But yeah, look, we can see that we're automatically harvesting all the walnuts from this tree, the 3 trees that we have here, and that's good because we're going to need a good amount of these walnuts. Let's go throw them into the slots over here and just see how much seed oil we can collect. Because like I said, we've been really waiting for some seed oil to get things going. So we've got, you know, a good 8 stacks or so. We do get mulch from this, so we're going to have to automate the extraction of the mulch here. Shouldn't be too big of a deal, but let's go ahead and take a look at what mulch can do for us. Yeah. Mulch can be used to make the humus and the bog earth that we were making before, so it's a substitute there. And that's about it. So there you go, uses for mulch. Neat. I like it. So, of course, it has to be used in the carpenter. Now, I'm hearing zombies around here somewhere. Where are all these zombies sounds coming from? Are they, like, underneath the ground here? Do I have, like, a non-lit area or something? I gotta track down where these zombie noises are happening because that's gonna bug me real fast. There he is. Later, zombie. So that's why I always put torches underground, because, you know, every now and then you wind up with some zombies spawning. So let's see, how are we doing for seed oil? Oh yeah, look at that, that's awesome. So we're starting to collect a good amount more of those impregnated sticks, which we're going to start needing again pretty soon, because we're going to want to do some cool stuff with bees. And you know what, those impregnated sticks are going to go a long way towards making some frames and some other cool stuff. We should also have a decent amount of bee materials, considering I left those proven frames, and I actually replaced them off camera just a minute ago, you know, when I logged in here. Kind of ran around and cleaned up some things. So we can see proven frames, once again, replaced in all my apiaries, and we can see lots of resources that have come in. We've got lots of pollen and royal jelly, which is actually really useful because we're going to need that very soon to build apiaries, or alvearies, I mean, yeah. So, what's up, zombie? Chilling by my awesome little farm here. Dude, look at this. We already got 2 more stacks of walnuts. That's awesome. So I guess this thing cleared out the trees? Is that... I guess everything else in here is good and done? Probably have some zombies or something hanging out down here. Yeah, we do. Again, didn't light this room up, so that's okay, no biggie. That'll do. Can't hurt to have a few extra torches laying around. So man, look at all this experience I'm getting. Something did occur that's kind of like an issue for me, and it's been something I've been kind of holding off on fixing, and I'm going to go ahead and fix it now. Actually, I want to go stop by my power plant room here real quick and just see how we're doing power-wise. So we should have plenty of juice flowing. Good. We are maxed out on all of our energy cells, so that's good news. The bad news is if we check these things out, oh, they're running at peak efficiency. These guys aren't running at all. What is up with that? Well, I guess that means my low-pressure boiler is not active. And that is the case. You can see here that it is just not keeping up. I think I'm going to need to either have my blaze farm on more often or something along those lines, because my peat bog just definitely won't keep up with the low-pressure boiler here. So this one peat farm, not enough. It's unfortunate, but it's a fact. So what I think we should work on today is automating the blaze farm. Now the reason I haven't left it running all the time, like I told you guys, is that we're going to have a good amount of experience being dropped by these guys. And this brain in a jar, you know, he just can't hold that much. He only holds about 30 levels worth. So I'd like to come up with something that can hold a little bit more experience and then maybe even start automating. Yeah, I think that would be cool if we could automate the way we enchant things. Because right now, like, you know, I'm just coming over every now and then, grabbing a few books, you know, something along those lines. So let's build an epic enchanting slot for, you know, some automation, you know, I have to figure out a way to store all these books because they don't stack. So we'd have to figure out a way to store them, but I'm sure we could come up with something. Yeah, let's figure out what we can do to automate the enchanting of items using the experience of my blaze farm. And then what I might do is automate the transfer of the blaze rods over to the low pressure boiler. And hopefully between the constantly running blaze farm and the peat bog, we should maybe possibly hopefully be able to keep up. So we'll find out. All right, so I will work on this. Is there another zombie around here somewhere? Definitely hearing something. Nothing in there. I hear a wolf outside. That's neat. Gotta figure out where these zombies keep spawning. Maybe upstairs. Yeah, I thought I lit this room up enough. Apparently not. Alright, so I'll be back in just a few, guys, and we'll start automating the collection and usage of experience. Sounds like fun, huh? Alright guys, so step 1, I'm creating an enchanting table and I'm tying it up with a turtle, and that gives us from the MISC peripherals the XP turtle. Now this turtle has a bunch of cool stuff you can make with it. Basically what we need to do here is the following. If we were to, and I'm going to show you this in like basic form and then write a program that's going to do some major automation. So let's move this brain in a jar. He's done a good job for us, but we have to pick him up. And oh cool, we got all the experience from him. Awesome. He can just hang out in my inventory for a moment. So let's take a look at some of the basic functions of this experience turtle, what I'm going to place right here. Okay, so he's basically replacing it. Now I'm going to turn on the farm here, and as things start to get killed, which you can see is happening already, and maybe we do that, just to be a little less of a nuisance, okay? So experience is dropping on the ground, right? Now the turtle here has a lot of different functions, actually quite a few really useful ones. So first off, we have to wrap up that peripheral on the right, which is the XP add-on. So once you connect that, right, equals peripheral.wrap right. There we go. So now we're good, right? So let's take a look at some of the different functions that this guy can handle. First off, what we can do is do a m.get levels. And we'll see that right now there are 0 levels worth of experience in this guy. All right. Now if we do an m.get, he'll pick up whatever experience is in front of him. All right. So we can see there he got 0. It looks like. Okay. Let's do. Oh, you know what? That's m.get is actually used to collect from XP bottles or anything else that can store experience, kind of like the brains in jars. But if we do m.collect, we should collect the experience from the ground in front of them. And boom, we collected a bunch of experience. Nice. Now if we do get levels, we'll see that we've got about 19 levels worth of experience already, which is awesome. So m.collect will suck up all experience nearby, and it'll return the amount of experience that it got. Nice. Okay. Now you can do a bunch of other cool stuff with this, but what we probably want to do... Oh, look, I'm getting attacked already. Sneaky, sneaky guys. Luckily, there's a water source right nearby. Okay. So instead of wanting to do m.collect all the time, what we can actually do is m.set auto collect. Boom. What that's going to do is now it has turned on auto collect. Any experience that falls nearby this turtle, it will automatically suck it up. So if we check our level collection now, we can see that we've got about 25 levels worth of experience already on this guy, which is cool. If we check it again a moment later, we'll see that we're up to 26. So we're slowly but surely collecting experience, just like we were before with the brain in the jar. Now the cool thing about this guy is that we don't have to worry too much about him getting full. I don't know that there's a limit to the amount of experience he can get and hold. If there is a limit, I don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure there isn't one though. So we can just keep collecting experience over and over. Now the nice thing, of course, being that now we're getting some blaze rods to show up in this slot here. Now one thing other people might have noticed is that blaze rods are actually showing up inside of our turtles. So what I'm going to do there is just put some cobble inside the turtles there. Now the turtle won't be able to collect the blaze rods when he kills the guy, and that's going to be really useful for us because it means that, you know, the blaze rods will fall on the ground as they were intended, and it won't get picked up by the turtle there. So awesome, right? So let's go ahead and fill up these turtles worth of cobble, and then we'll be in really good shape for collecting all the blaze rods directly in the barrel there, and all the experience. Nice. Alright, I'll be back in just a few minutes to move on to the next stage of this build, which is going to be automatically enchanting things, because of course, if you can automatically collect the experience, it would be nice if you could automatically use it, right? Yeah, let's do that now. Alright, one more minor problem. You guys can see the blaze rods are shooting out behind here. So what I'm doing is covering these things up with some fancy dark bricks here. That will prevent the blaze rods from flying behind the turtles and should hopefully keep them in front of the turtle where they'll get picked up by the transposers. Awesome. Alright guys, barring any laughter about the fact that I'm moving my enchanting setup again, I'm actually going to replace this with enchanted book storage. So that's the plan. Now there's something really important to tell you guys about how I'm going to build this, because typically you might expect, hey, Dyer, you should be using, I don't know, something along the lines of pneumatic tubes, right? That's exactly what I would expect to use, but you shouldn't. Why not? Well, let me tell you why. The Red Power 2 mod does not sort based on NBT data. And NBT data is just, there's a couple different ways to store information inside items. And this is getting deep into like the, you know, recesses of Minecraft coding and how people like, you know, set things up. But there's basically like two cool ways to store stuff. Like one way is to store things in damage value. So like, you know, the diamond drill, its damage value is what's used to lower the EU storage and increase it. At least that's the way it used to be. I think it's actually migrated over to NBT data now. NBT data is kind of like another way to store data inside of it. Buildcraft pipes do not have a problem routing things using NBT data though. So that's how we're going to manage to do this. So I'm going to put the enchantment table in my miscellaneous junk power table here. Probably get it out at some point in the future. Who knows? I'm sure I'll find some kind of use for it. Might even want to grab an iron chest for the time being. Going to need a couple things here, and we're probably going to need a lot of barrels. So why don't I grab some oaken slabs here, because I want to use barrels as my storage medium of choice. So let's go, looks like it's getting dark out. Going to need a good amount of wood. You can see I actually upgraded my sapling chest and my wood chest here to go ahead and get myself more of, you know, storage of that stuff, because my sapling chest was filling up. So I'm going to build a bunch of barrels as soon as it allows me to sleep through the night. Basically, I'm just going to use a crafting table here. This project table thing is perfect for barrel storage. There we go. I'm going to get, I don't know, I don't even know how many barrels I need. I'm going to start off with like 30. That sounds like a nice round number, right? Sure, why not? Sleep through the night, and then we're going to go through how we're going to make this. Now, there's a couple... It's a little tricky how this is going to have to work for us, just because we can't use pneumatic tubes. They would be perfect for this. So I'm going to have to use Buildcraft pipes, and I'm going to have to figure out exactly how I want this to work. I think we're going to have to use a lot of diamond pipes, and some gold, and some wood, and we're probably going to need a lot more diamond pipes than that, unfortunately. So why don't I figure out exactly how I want this to work, and then I'll come back and figure, you know, figure something out. Yeah, I think I'm going to need quite a few more diamonds. That should be close to enough, maybe a little bit more. Okay, gotta go mining again soon. Probably set up some kind of automated mining system, something new and exciting. So let's figure out how we want to do this. Now remember, barrels need to accept items from the top, right? So we're going to have to line up our barrels like so. Thinking like right along here ought to be good. Yeah, I did not want to put barrels into a barrel. I know, barrelception, right? Yes. Now I do want everything to be visible, so let's actually break this one and break this one here. And then what we want to do is basically pull items out of this chest. So I'm thinking this could be like the input chest, right? Anything that goes in here will get sorted into the barrel system. Now, how exactly do we do that? Well, we're going to have to pull items out, of course, and we can do that through the top. And then we want to route them right along here. And we want to try and place the enchanted book into the barrel before allowing it to continue along the line. And what that should hopefully do is, so let's say if we've got two similar, fire aspects, right? So if we tell it to, just put any enchanted book down here, the filter is going to say, you're an enchanted book, you're going to try and go down. It doesn't matter if it's power or charging or looting, or it doesn't really matter which of the enchanted books goes in there. It's just, hey, you're an enchanted book, go for it. So it's going to try and store the enchanted book inside the barrel. Now, from there, we've got a couple other options that we can do. We could try a couple other things. So let me think this through for a minute, and I'll be right back. Alright, yeah, so let's set this up. Basically what I want to do here is place some diamond pipes all along the top of these barrels. Now, this barrel, like I said, I don't want to have here. I was testing something, I was looking for a better way to do this, and in the end, it just didn't work out. So I'm definitely going to have to go with this approach. So here we go, okay? It's strange, to be honest with you. The basic gist here is that Buildcraft pipes seem to be one of the very few item routing mechanisms that can handle NBT data. I can't find any other one that does it properly. I've tried quite a few things actually. So in the end, yep, this is what we're going to have to do. So basically what we want to do is the following. We're going to come through here and we're going to say, hey, if you're an enchanted book, go ahead and go down into the black slot. Now, it doesn't matter which enchanted book I use here. I can just go ahead and place it in the black slot. And remember, Buildcraft pipes won't actually take the item, so I can just use this punch book. Note that in the filter interface here, it's just saying enchanted book. Meanwhile, the enchanted book punch 1, so the NBT data is written to punch. So you can see this when you look up enchanted books in NEI, for example. So the NEI one doesn't have anything, and this is how you can have one item have all kinds of different stuff going on with it. So that's NBT data for you, NBT data 101. One item can have like thousands of different effects and combinations. It's pretty neat. So what I'm going to do is go down the line and just say, hey, enchanted book, go down the black path. Enchanted book, go down the black path. And I'm going to keep this up throughout. And what this is going to do is it's going to say, all right, items are going to come through here. Remember, items in Buildcraft pipes will never go back the way they came. So if an item comes from the green side, it's got two options, black and yellow. And if it's an enchanted book, it's going to try and prioritize the black slot and go down into the barrel. But if it can't for whatever reason, yellow is an option. Yellow, anything can go through. So it's going to say, all right, priority black, and then failing that, yellow. Okay, so that's the basic plan. So I'm going to come down here, get these guys all filled in, and be back in a minute to show you guys this in action. Now, of course, we want to make sure that these enchanted books can go somewhere in the end here. So I guess this really doesn't have to be a diamond pipe. This could be a gold pipe. It doesn't really matter. Items will come in and then land right in here. So this is basically your overflow chest. It'll try and find its way into one of those barrels, and if it fails, it's going to eventually wind up in that iron chest. And that is how you're going to wind up, getting any overflow. Because we really didn't want to lose any enchanted books, right? That would be awful. All right, so let's make this happen now. So I guess all I got to do is do the autarkic gate thing. We've got plenty of books in here. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and say items in inventory, energy pulsar, and that should start quickly pulling out the books. Now, hopefully, we should start seeing things multiply. So you'll see them look like they're trying to go down there. That's just kind of like the first time. If it looks like it's trying to go down, it's because it's trying and failing. But don't worry, it's going to continue along to the next one, and we should wind up with a bunch of them in here. That's just a visual thing. Like once the book realizes that it doesn't fit in there, it's just going to continue along to the next slot. So you can see almost everything going down. But don't worry, all those things will go back over to the side here and show up, so you can see them all making their way over. So it is kind of auto sorting for us. Nice. Wow, we had 5 of something. Which one was this? Alright, so that's efficiency 3. Now, the only downside here is that barrels won't tell us which of the 2 items we've got. So, you've got a lot of options with your enchanted books. We have no idea which ones are which. So, we're going to have to label them somehow, and that's what's probably going to happen. So let's get more enchanted books in here, and we're going to start sorting all this stuff out. But you can see it's going to quickly, probably very quickly, fill up our system of barrels here. So we might need more barrels, because I don't know how many different enchants there are, but I'm guessing it's more than 30, especially when you factor in enchant like efficiency 3 versus efficiency 4 versus efficiency 5. So definitely something we're going to have to look into here and figure out. Maybe the nice thing about this is because it's like, you know, it's working out right, but I could have like a second row above, but then it's really hard to figure out how to get the book to go in there. I'll figure something out. Alright guys, this system is definitely not big enough, and it was more just a proof of concept to figure out how things would work. How about instead of just building like something, you know, simple and cheap out here, I'm going to build the Hall of Enchants. I think that sounds like a pretty cool name for a building. Yeah, let's do it. So what I want to do is just clear out a massive amount of terrain. I'm going to start like maybe back here somewhere. This ought to do. And I think what I want to do is clear out some big amount of terrain. Now you guys have seen this about a dozen times, so I'm going to clear it out off camera and come right back. Goodbye, forest. It was nice knowing you. Almost there. There we go. Nice. Alright guys, so I'm just planning out my build. So what I'm thinking here is something along these lines. So we'd have something like this, right? Where this would be the floor, and then we would put down a barrel here, maybe a barrel here, and then maybe a barrel here. So if we wanted to do that, we should build this guy one more taller, okay? So again, clearing out some terrain, courtesy of this guy, and I want to put this guy in. I missed. Right here. And I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, found the nice center of the room here, and boom, wrath lamp. Cool. Alright, so this is going to be what I'm calling the Hall of Enchanting, and what I want to have here is basically barrels set up all around the edges of this room. So we're going to need quite a few more barrels in order to get this whole enchanting setup going, but this should be the room where all the magic happens, alright? So plenty of cool stuff to be had. Why don't I get myself a few more barrels? That might not be enough. I might need more, actually. And set up this room the way I want it to work. So basically what we're going to do is we need to, you know, hit each block in a certain pattern. So what we want here is just a whole bunch of barrels lined up in a row. Now I did come up with a good solution to get things going up above the barrels, so that should work out pretty well. And from there, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. So let's see, I just need about another stack of barrels or so. Just. Let's get that many, sure, why not? And we'll let this thing kind of sort itself out. So basically, along here, we're going to want barrels, right? Now we don't want any in corners. Come back here, you. Right, so no barrels in corners. Now I've done a little bit of math and calculated that this room should be big enough for as many barrels as we could possibly want. Should. It's a little hard to do the math. Like, I just looked it up on the Minecraft wiki and, you know, approximated from what I know of, you know, other stuff. Do we want that? Or do we want... Where do we want to put the chest here? I'm thinking probably right along here. Yeah, maybe this will be the chest. And this will be the... we'll have to have an excess chest somewhere in here. We'll see. This ought to do. So again, just putting barrels along the wall. Nothing exciting. Nothing to see here. Back in a few. Alright guys, so I'm getting ender chests here, and we're going to want to color them something interesting. So what do I got in my barrel of good fun here? Got some of this, got some of that. So let's go with the color yellow. That sounds like a solid plan, right? How about something along the lines of yellow, white, white? I don't think that's being used. I should really, at this point, be writing down the different ender chest colors that I've chosen so far to use, because I'm already forgetting what's in use and what's not. But hopefully, there doesn't seem to be anything in there. Cool. So, pretty sure I haven't used this combination yet. And now what I want to do is set it up so that one ender chest, and it's dark out, so better sleep through the night, and then we'll get this going. Alright guys, so here's the basic plan, right? What we're going to do is we're going to place down the wooden pipe here, and then we're going to put down diamond pipes like this. Now remember, an item we want to go into the top, right? So we need this guy to go into the black line here. So it doesn't matter what book we use here, just put any kind of enchanted book, just like we did a minute ago, in the black path, okay? But then there is one problem that we want to avoid, and that is the option for items to wind up going up. We don't want anything to wind up going up, and the way it's configured now is, if an item comes in green and it's, can't fit in the black, if it's not, going to fit inside the barrel here, it's going to randomly choose between yellow and white which direction to go. So we're going to want to block off the white path just because we don't ever want items going up into the bottom of the barrel. That's not going to work for us, okay? So white's blocked off, good to go. All right, so then we've got some more things to do. So from here, I'm just going to do what I just did about 100 times or so. I'll be back. Alright guys, so working my way through here, and I've gotten to the point where I want to show you what I'm going to do next, and for that I needed a sandstone pipe. Oh, looks like it's dark again. Shouldn't be a problem though. I'll just seal up this wall. I'll put a door here in a moment, but this way I can get back and forth to my base easily. What we want to do now is we want to basically go around the entire room and keep trying to put the book into the barrels, and if it doesn't fit in any of these barrels, we want to get up to the next row and circle back. That's the plan. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to use a sandstone pipe here. Remember, sandstone pipes don't connect to adjacent inventories. If I had placed a gold pipe here, they would have connected, right? We don't want that. So we want a sandstone pipe which won't connect to an inventory, okay? And then from there, we've got another gold pipe, and then we're going to surround the room again, just like that. Got it? So that's how it's going to work. It's going to basically go all the way around, make its way up, and come all the way back. And this should be a rather efficient way of getting things to behave itself. Cool? So I'll be back in a few. And then, of course, as a last resort measure, we're going to go ahead and dump any book that doesn't fit anywhere into this barrel chest right here. So this chest will contain all the excess books if for some reason we've run out of barrels and have nowhere else to put them. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't know. Stranger things have occurred. All right. Now I'll be right back after I finish. I just kind of laid out the pipes. I haven't done the interface thing yet. Alright guys, so I've got this going, but I actually want to make one minor change. So you can see I've actually filled everything here, told enchanted books go down into the barrels. Okay, and this line, it's always enchanted book and cobblestone. So any one of these should be the same, any random one, enchanted book and cobblestone, and anyone on the top should just be enchanted book. Cool. What I actually want to do here is use this chest for two purposes. I want to go ahead and just throw my enchanted books in here, and even my non-enchanted books, but I don't want the non-enchanted books to get pulled out by the wooden pipe. So in order to make that a reality, I need some emerald pipes. Ooh, fancy. These guys are pretty cool. Simply place them down and they act just like a wooden pipe, except they have a filter and you can tell it what items to pull out. So right now I'm going to filter out enchanted books. I'm going to say only pull out enchanted books from this chest. And then finally, what I can do is set this thing up and say when there are, we can just say items in inventory, it doesn't matter, energy pulsar, and then it should only pull out enchanted books and it won't pull out the non-enchanted books. How cool is that? I think it's awesome. All right, so now it should do the thing that we saw it doing earlier, where it's just going to continue along and, try and fill everything. Now, I could go ahead and do this intelligently and maybe, even, keep things together. So, keep efficiency 1, 2, 3, 4 together, keep, protection and all that together. I don't know. And the other thing we're going to need to do is put up some signs that indicate which books are which. Now, as for over here, what I'm thinking is I'm going to want to go ahead and place down my ender chest right here so that the turtle can interact with it directly. So right now, what I can have him do is he can sit there collecting experience automatically, and he could either he might be able to face the ender chest at all times. If not, he can just turn around, interact with it, and turn back to collect the experience. Alright guys, so now we've got this ender chest here, and we can just start throwing enchanted books in it. So I'm going to clear out the enchanted book backlog that I have from here. So I'm just going to grab as many as I can and throw them all into here. Now we're getting pretty close, I'm sorry to say, to the wrapping up point of this episode. So we're going to have to wait until next episode for me to automate this system any more than it already is. But what I have planned for the next episode is to automate the creation of books. I'm going to want to automate the collection of leather and the collection of reeds, and then I'll create some book creation mechanism. So it'll automatically create books and fill up the yellow, white thing, and we'll kind of keep it up in somewhat of an intelligent way so that we can sort of figure out exactly how many books we want to keep in there at all times. We'll come up with something cool. But long story short is we should wind up with a pretty nice and automated system to have like almost like an infinite number of books available to us, as well as keeping them getting enchanted by the turtle. So why don't I show you guys real quick before we wrap up this episode how you can enchant something with a turtle, because it's really not too hard. So what I want to do here is check out two things before we wrap up. There we go. That should be all cleared up. Awesome. And we'll go check on that room in a minute there. For now, what I'm going to want to do, break this guy. And I'm going to grab just a book, okay? That should be good. And all you're going to want to do is have one book in whatever current slot it is. And I think it's m.enchant. Boom. And too few arguments. All right, you have to tell it what level enchant to do. So if you put 30 there, it'll be the max level of 30. Okay, there we go. Now it returns true if it was successful. And if I do that m.get levels, we'll see we're now down to 36 levels. We were probably at 66 before. We didn't check it right before. And hey, I got Silk Touch. Nice. So what I want to do is actually turtle.turnRight. Boom. And turtle.drop. Cool. And he should have dropped the book in there and was already picked up by the thing. So now what I want to see is, will this guy still collect experience if he's not facing that direction? Turning it on and lowering the volume again because, loudness. Okay. So, will you collect experience from the ground? That's what my goal is to find out right now. So I could even break this chest for a moment. So are you collecting experience? Let's find out. So it was at 36, now it's at 37. Nice, that's good news. So he can collect experience from behind him, which is awesome. What that means is I can keep the turtle facing this direction all the time. Then we can write a program that says, hey, if your levels get up to 30, go ahead and grab a book out of the chest in front of you. So we can just say this, okay? Boom, put down the chest. We'll say something along the lines of, we're probably going to have to do an probably turtle.suck. I don't think I can tell it to only suck one item, right? Nope, it's not going to work. So it's going to grab everything. But then we can do turtle.transfer to... Can I do this? Will this work? I think I have to transfer this to slot 2. Yeah, let's try it like this. There we go, that's what I want. And then we can do turtle.select slot 2 and turtle.drop. So that's how we'll get one book out at a time, and then we'll turtle.select 1. We could also use the inventory upgrade again if we wanted to. That is an option, and it might be the way I go, because we do have another upgrade slot available on this turtle. And with that upgrade, we'd be able to pull out one book at a time, which would be kind of ideal. We might want to do that. And then we'll just do m.enchant. So that's the plan, right? We'll check if we have 30 levels, and if we do... yeah. Then we will enchant the book and drop it in the chest. Ooh, punch 2. Okay, that sounds neat. So let's go into that room over there for a real quick moment and see how we're making out. So we'll put this back. We can turn our sound back up, because I know you guys like hearing my game sounds. I'll even turn on that thing, let it run for a bit, and whoa, look at this room. It's already filling out pretty well. Nice. So at some point, we're going to have to label everything in here so that we know what all our books are. Unfortunately, we're going to have to do that manually with signs, but, that's something I could work out eventually. For now, I think we're going to have to wrap up, and I think once I have a good amount of books filled up in here, maybe I'll reorganize the room and just kind of put things all around the place, kind of like, have all the enchants together in their random levels. So like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same enchant can be all next to each other. Unfortunately, I can't automate that. This is kind of the best we can do for automation purposes, but it does seem to be working properly, so I'm quite pleased for that. So, nice. I'm happy with this build. I like it when I'm happy with a build. And I'm sorry, guys, we do have to wrap up now. So I'll be back next episode to automate both the creation of books, get that turtle program written to automatically calculate how many levels it has, and keep enchanting books until it runs out, and then just keep checking, and eventually it'll enchant more books and more books and more books, and that'll be fun. Then what we're going to want to do is start moving the blaze rods out of there into the low-pressure boiler, because I'm positive that the low-pressure boiler is probably drained out by now and empty again. So yeah, all the blaze rods I grabbed earlier, not really helped out at all. So they don't last very long at all when they're, not doing anything. So, Direwolf 20 signing off, episode 44. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Another thing we're going to have to do is automate the collection of walnuts. I did want to show you guys how our seed oil production turned out with all the walnuts we threw in there. Show me lots of seed oil, please. Nice, look at this. Dude, we've got like 90 buckets of seed oil. This is working out better than I even thought it might. Awesome. So lots of walnuts, lots of seed oil. Perfect. That's really going to help with our extra bee stuff, which we're going to work on again in a future episode. Wow, we've got so much more to do this season, guys. So, again, hope you enjoyed the episode, and take it easy.